Welcome back one last time here to DreamHack Denver 2017, where we are going to be getting into our dual grand final. We've got a $35,000 pot, and it's down to 2 players. We've got Garpy, we've got Raisy, and judging from the results of today's matches so far, I mean, you could not fit a Galena's hitbox in between, like, how close these matches have been. It's been absolutely crazy. We've done every round, we've done every map, we've done every frag. Comes down to just like one rocket, one tickle of LG every time. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're buckled in because this is going to be best of 5. I would expect no less from a grand final. And to take us through it, we've got Machiavelli and Zoot.
Man, I'm absolutely psyched for this one to have Raisy and Garpy representing Maestro. And with the best of 5 of you say this is the type of series that could go all the way.
And as we were talking before we came back, it is a bit of an endurance test. You know, these guys have been playing a long time. And then you add in the fact that it's a 5-map pool, and based on how these guys have been playing, I would be highly surprised if somebody wins 3-0 on the maps. So I anticipate this is easily going to map 4, possibly map 5. And that really tests your endurance because a lot of time goes by. That's a lot of dueling time. It really tests your mental stamina.
It's a huge part of any Quake LAN, really. I mean, if you haven't been to a Quake LAN before, you have to acknowledge that you're going to be in it for like 10, maybe 12 hours, and you're going to be, you know, bouncing between game types. You're going to be bouncing between opponents. And after like maybe the 8-hour mark of straight gameplay, certain parts of your brain shut off, hopefully for you, other parts of your brain start activating. So we're going to have to see which is the case here with this matchup.
I don't want to sort of add any excuses or whatever, because they're both coming from the same ballpark at the moment, but they've been in the States for about 3 days. Their body clocks are probably about 7-8 hours out of sync from the normal time. So it should be something like 5 in the morning for them.
Yeah,
Garpy's been playing, he's been playing since the beginning of the day. He was the first series to come up. So the endurance test, I mean, it really is something to point out. These guys are going to be going completely at it, and the psychological game is going to be very, very strong. And I really think the person who's the most endurance is going to win above all.
I can agree with you, especially going on personal experience when I had to travel to Sweden for events. The jet lag really can mess with you, not just to make you tired, but it can make you feel physically ill at times to the point where it's like, how do you deal with that? But these guys are pros, and that's what you're here. You got to overcome.
Well, Mops and Buckets on standby. Of course, one big part of this tournament has been who hasn't made it here to the grand final. Let's take a quick look at that bracket, actually, because it's like a memorial wall at this point. I mean, Toxic, gone. Rafa, gone. DeHang, gone. Kilson, gone. And I will remind you, Zoot, that your prediction, and you weren't alone on this one, it was going to be Rafa and Kilson in the grand final. What a surprise.
Yeah, but that is, I think that kind of went out the window a long time ago. A lot of favorites went out even yesterday, not making it through the groups, and then even in the quarterfinals where pretty much everybody was wrong about things. So mostly Twitch chat though, and now left with 2 stunning players. What's great for Garpy is that he wasn't originally qualified. He's had the opportunity to come to Denver through other things happening, and he is making the best of it. As we said at the beginning of the tournament, this is similar to the VOD story at QuakeCon.
I love a story like that. You know, personally, I think that's great for Garpy. You know, as we had the interview up here, it's kind of the humility of him. You know, he says, you know, I've always been pretty good at top level, but never quite like all the way there. And now here he is on the grand final of a major event. Really, really great for him. And then Raisy, on the other hand, another great young player. What a comeback against Dewey. I mean, honestly, really keeping his head in the game, slowed the game down, took the clutch kind of out of play a little bit, and really turned that match around. So I'm very curious to see how this works, because Garpy, man, I can't say it again. His rocket placement.
I've got to also say something first. UK gaming right now on PC. This is it.
Indoor.
We're on the map right now. Come on, Garpy. I got to say, really, I'm so proud to have a UK representative at the top 2 right now in this international duel tournament, and I probably won't shut up about it for quite a while. So,
to be fair, you have great reason to be proud. Garpy has played fantastic, and he really has done the UK proud.
Well, it's going to be up to Twitch chat to redeem themselves here. They've got one more chance to get it right. And we've had some great advice from Rafa, We do know it's going to be Ruins of Sarnath for the first map, so feel free to use that to dictate your vote, but feel free to throw down hashtag Garpy or Raisy. It's not that many letters. I know it's late, but I'm sure you can get it down. Feel free to throw in your votes there, and we're going to get to ours in just a moment. But again, you're absolutely right. This has been an endurance match. I think you can see that physically kind of wearing on them. I mean, not only the amount of time these matches have been taking, but just the intensity of each and every one. Nobody has had a free ride in this bracket.
No, it is unbelievable. I'm wondering what's going to be the splitting the difference between the two of them aside from the endurance, because Raisy was originally a really, really strong LG player, and he's probably one of the few players who's actually continued to use it in the duel, whereas a lot of players have actually decided, oh, you know what, let's put it aside, let's not even touch it whatsoever. I think he's finding a good use for the weapon. Yeah,
I actually disagree with the players who are taking that kind of tact. I think it's a mistake, because even though maybe it's not as good as it was, it still has some very good uses and corridors, straight lining, especially if you can line people up with jump pads. So I think it turns into a more situational weapon, which is kind of traditionally what the lightning gun always was. But Raisy's also done a good job. Seems like he's found his rhythm with really trying to line up the lightning gun. There's been some times like, wow, he's really lighting somebody up with that thing, and it seems like he's finding his rhythm. But on the flip side of things, Garpy's rocket placement, I've been talking about it all this day. It's just really phenomenal, and it's hard to get aggressive with a lightning gun when somebody's placing their rockets so precise.
Well, Machiavelli, it's going to come down to a decision at this point. So, I mean, we've thrown a lot of words around, a lot of theory crafting. Now your reputation is on the line.
Oh, no. And I feel bad for my friend here, because I've been a little bit of a jinx today, but
what little reputation you have left.
I know. Jeez, I've been horrible today. But I really do believe Garpy is going to pull through in this. I like how steady he's been playing. He's been very consistent. One of the things that kind of concerns me about Raisy is timing seems to be a little off at times, and I think that could come back to haunt him.
Well, for me, my heart is telling me Garpy, my brain is telling me Raisy, if I'm honest. But, you know, I think Garpy's been on an absolutely mad streak, so I think I'm going to just edge him out. I think he's probably going to take... I think it's the type of series that could go to 5 maps, but I'm going to say 3-1 to Garpy.
I have been wrong twice about Garpy, and I'm willing to be wrong again. I'm actually going to go with Raisy. It's nothing against you. It's nothing against Garpy at all. Just judging from Raisy's play, the matchup against Dewey was insane, and it came down to just a handful of really good reads. We've had amazing rockets and rails and just like pops all day, but what he really brought to the table was some great reads, some great anticipation, and I think that'll bring a lot to the table for sure.
What I'm curious about, can Garpy slow Raisy down? As we see, when Raisy gets going with a full head of steam, he's tough to deal with. When he's running around the map at 100 miles an hour throwing rockets, LGing you, you really have to slow him down, in my view. So I want to see what approach Garpy uses to really accomplish that.
We're going to get into Ruins of Sarnath here in just a moment, but real quick, let's take a quick look at the Twitch votes here.
What is it? Let's have a look.
Here comes the last one.
Wow. What the hell?
All right.
Okay.
Congrats, Twitch.
Play.
This is the best thing ever.
Perfect split.
We finally have a perfect split. Yeah. People have colluded. You figured out how to not come down on either side. I wish that's something I figured out a long time ago before today. But Machiavelli, Zoot, let's get into it.
Thank you very much, Jahar. Looking forward to getting on with this grand final in a few moments and actually going on that 50-50. I think it's a perfectly good way to describe how close these players are in skill, both representing the Maestro Gaming side, both good friends through playing together now on the same team, in the same Sacrifice team as well. So I can't wait to even get things started.
Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting match. Even Rafa was having problems picking, you know, who's going to win. He's like, wow, both these guys are very good, evenly matched. It's hard to say. And, you know, I just like to speak a little bit to, you know, the camaraderie, like you mentioned, the teammates. I always say that really esports is a fraternity. It is a club. And, you know, even though everybody wants to win, right now they're mortal enemies, but in the end, we're all friends. You know, we just like to have a good time here.
It'll be smiles all around afterwards, no matter what. And that's going to be a Nyx, Anarchy, and Doomslayer being picked by both players all the way through, so a complete mirror matchup we're getting there. I've got to say as well, because the winner of DreamHack Denver gets the qualification over to DreamHack Winter. So that is a pretty big prize on the line. It means you don't have to go through any of the stressful EU qualification matches in the coming weeks. And it's going to be a really huge bonus on top of what is a substantial prize for first place over here. So definitely added pressure on the line.
No, that's an excellent point. As we've seen in the European qualifiers in duel and even sacrifice, highly competitive, deep talent pool in Europe. Even people who don't even qualify are very top-notch. Some probably top 50, top 30 in the world. There are no slouches by any means. So yeah, being able to get there without having to go through that, you can just focus on your preparation is a big advantage.
Exactly. Guys, that's the sound. We are going to be getting into the grand finals here for the DreamHack Denver 2017 Quake Champions Duel. It's Maestro Gaming's Raisy and Garpy getting started here on Ruins of Sarnath. Garpy on camera first, going to be with the Doomslayer, hunting over towards the rocket and see where he can position himself here on the map, going versus the Anarchy.
As his Doomslayer play has been solid all tournament. And his extra stack is going to serve him well with this Anarchy flying around the map. If he can force a good close quarter combat with rockets, he'll certainly have the advantage, especially when you add in the double jumping factor.
No, completely. And I really hope that at some point we're going to see an Anarchy versus Anarchy, because of the Half-Life background from Garpy. He's got absolutely unbelievable control of that champion. It'll be interesting to see who maybe comes out on top in that respect. Now, Raisy checking him out on his Anarchy. Going to finally land himself a little bit of damage to break the stalemate at the beginning. What a
Garpy's in big trouble right now.
This could be the first frag in a second, but he's going to be sent right back up the bounce pad. Is he going to try and chase up for this? Berserk's being used, but he tries to get the pummel out, misses out on it, and Garpy survives for just a few seconds longer.
Oh man, that really might come back to haunt Raisy. We always talk about letting somebody get around. That was a fragging situation right there. He should have got that frag.
That's it, but Garpy, the thing is, he's not able to come back and get the Mega himself, so his stack is building up fairly slowly. And Raisy now knows, since he got the items, he can chase for the kill. Found him over here, trying to get a little bit of LG damage done. It's just dotting here and there. Does he want to close the gap? He's got enough stack to be able to do so. I don't know why he's being so timid. There's the rail, though, and he gets first blood here in the grand final.
Yeah, Garpy, like as you mentioned, was just tough. He couldn't get any major items, and he was just slowly rebuilding his stack. He just didn't have anything to deal with it. And Raisy, rightly so, went highly aggressive on the map, flew around the map, forcing an engagement.
And we're going to get another one as well, forcing Garpy into a corner a little bit by the hourglasses, and eventually secures. This could be a very quick round, almost following up with the rail as well. The Ghost Walk's still up, and finally Garpy's going to use it to try and get away.
Yeah, Raisy's, this is what I was talking about. When he's playing at this kind of pace, and you're letting him move around the map, this is his strength. This is him at his best. So, oh my goodness.
What the hell? Amazing rockets there from Raisy, securing a clean first round here in the grand final. And looking very good. The thing is, you talk a lot about the aggression and the speed and pace that Raisy can bring. I think Garpy is capable of doing it himself. He just needs to get some confidence going against Raisy.
Yeah, perhaps, but I also think maybe he should try to set some traps. I don't know if Raisy will play the... although he did demonstrate against Dewey, he's willing to slow it down as well. So I just think you got to catch that Anarchy, coming around a corner and just really focus on getting a trap on him, because he's so fast. Unless you predict your player exactly right and you catch him, it's hard to do. It's hard to kill an Anarchy. He's so quick.
Wow, what a rail shot there from Raisy. He's probably going to want to follow up and get some rockets for himself soon. At the moment, he's just working the nail gun and the rail.
Oof, that was barely missed.
Here we are, starting to get some of the other weapons, looking for another angle, trying to play so quickly that can't quite hit the target. A little bit of LG damage. Garpy trying to survive. He's walked away from the Mega, but will be able to attain it in the end. Here's the follow-up. Raisy wants to go in aggressive, but can't quite land the shot. Garpy, does he want to try and counter-aggress a little bit? He just can't seem to hit anything.
Oh my. His rockets, where are those great rockets we saw earlier? But yeah, great play by Raisy right now. His rail seems to be on point.
Yeah, I think Garpy looks a little bit shaky in some of that. Going in for the gauntlet, Garpy. He's actually going to follow up the bounce pad and giving some freebies over to Raisy just then. Maybe a little optimistic in what could have happened.
And of course, the grand final, we don't know what this is doing to his, mentality going into this game. Certainly a change of pace for him. He's been playing so solid all game. He's been playing so solid and smart, most of the tournaments. Seeing some of these errors makes you want to kind of wonder, is this the event, the atmosphere, is it getting to him a little bit? And of course, Raisy, of course, is putting a lot of pressure on him too. So
yeah. And this is a little bit of a scrappy fight we saw over here in the heavy machine gun room. Eventually, Raisy was able to secure that frag, but it wasn't as clean cut in the end as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, we're starting round 3 over here. Raisy looking like he could pick up the first map within, 6 minutes of play on just this map alone. he is going to break away and try and collect a couple of other weapons.
A nice ambush by Garpy. Raisy had no idea where he was coming from. Oh my gosh, that rail though.
Garpy needs to get something going. He hasn't had a single frag yet in the grand final.
Yep, and you know how confidence goes. When you start feeling like that, you can't get a frag, you start pressing in situations you normally won't, just trying to make something happen. Takes you out of your game.
I think he just needs to get like something going, and that's when he's going to finally be able to build himself back into the grand finals a little bit, because so far it's been an absolute nightmare for him. Raisy, is he going to look to close the gap a bit, trying to hit some of these rails while his movement is going wild?
You can see Raisy's getting a little more confident with that railgun, starting to take some of these snapshots, moving around quickly. He's like, I always believe it's one of those things, you ride it till she bucks you. You know, if you're starting to hit railguns consecutively, you keep going with it, man, until you start to cool off.
Wow, what is the shots that he's hitting? Is he trying to go aggressive in on this? Whoa. That was a little bit overzealous. Garpy eventually is going to be able to punish the aggression that Raisy has and secure his first kill.
That's exactly what Garpy needed. Try to get something going in his direction. Bad position down here. This is bad position on Sarnath. You have nowhere to go back here.
And Rocket not able to meet his target.
I'm very surprised he pushed in low into this room.
He could go for a punch over here. This would be insane if he manages to get the kill. He's going to edge away. Only 9 health to go. Can he hit the miracle rail to keep himself alive? Oh, LG, the health bubbles have respawned for him. He's been here that long, and I think Raisy is going to give him some space. I cannot believe that Garpy survived all of that.
Yeah. Hey, but you know, give him credit for doing that delay back there, and Raisy wasn't exactly fully stacked, so he didn't want to go in charging either.
No, he had to be tremendously careful. He's definitely going to respect the aim that Garpy has. He is one of the top aimers around, but here it is, coming in for another one, but that is going to be the Ghost Walk forced out. And it just kind of reminds me a bit further back in the tournament where Raisy really has trouble sometimes closing down maps. He's got that 2-0, and it's like his aggression has weakened, and Garpy's going to go straight in on this. Follow up with a rail, can't quite land it. Maybe he wants to aggress on this. Oh, that would have closed it out, but the Knicks will not be going for the Mega in the end. Whoa, just as I say that, I curse it. He missed it completely.
Yeah, he missed it. The rocket threw him off when he got hit, and I think he just got a little panic there and fell off the side, and a great follow-up rail by Garpy. He's getting himself back in this game. This is what he needs.
That's one way to deal with the leaping berserk of the Doomslayer, and Garpy is going to be getting himself a round down in map 1.
Big round for him there. Really needed that, because you know, now he get that confidence, as you said. Yeah, I can get this done here, right here. It's like he jumped over.
That surprised me a lot, that did. I was sure that the Mega was going to go quiet. Racing his specialty, I don't know, is that not being able to close out the third round, or just that slide across the item? Garpy on the Doomslayer.
I want to see if Garpy's rockets start to wake up too. It looked like he placed some good ones there to get himself back in the game. Some nice defensive play with the rockets. So I really feel he can control this map, because Raisy is so, or match, if you will, because Raisy likes to play so fast. I think if he gets in the zone and really starts to read him correctly, those rockets are going to cause Raisy a lot of problems.
Well, he's going to try and eventually jump up to get himself that Mega once again. Did get a little bit of information. Oh, the pummel comes out. Rail not able to follow up from Raisy, but that was good damage. And I've always been going on about the gauntlet to rail combo. I think it's highly effective.
Well, yeah, it's, I mean, 75, it's 170, well, excuse me, it's 165 damage now, not 175.
Whoa. Aggressive move there. Again, rail would have just ended Garpy's life, waiting for that armor to spawn, and shouldn't have enough time to make it over to the Mega Health. Hopefully, for Raisy's sake, he's going to be nicely set up for it.
Seems to have calmed down a little bit now after that, you know, early start for Garpy. Garpy seems to be settling in a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely. And getting back on the rockets as well. It looked like he was mistiming the Mega a little bit before, which could cause some issues over here. But
beautiful combo.
Amazing damage. He could try and follow up on that one. Armor's going to be up, and he's going to drop down for it. However, he's not able to get any damage, and Raisy walks away, having rebuilt his stack quite effectively.
That was a big pickup for Raisy, but oh man, Garpy starting to heat up here.
One rail. Oh. Knew exactly where he had to aim, but just as the angle became available, missed the shot he needed just then.
Nice idea there.
it looks like he might even be able to secure 2 big items.
Yeah, I think that's his goal here. Figures he wants to get firm control over the map, right? And you know, this is dangerous for Raisy.
But going in for the punches, this is maybe a little suicidal. He tries to go for one more leap, but Raisy takes him down. Such a risky play. I think there's just too much distance from him to begin with.
And not to mention, Raisy wasn't exactly low. It wasn't going to be one punch to kill him. So, yeah, and not to mention, he had an arsenal. I don't understand why he just didn't fight for position. I thought he had the advantage with the stack.
Wow, brilliant follow-up there from Raisy. Knew Garpy was weak and finally able to actually cut down the distance between them. I think Garpy's going to regret what he did with that Berserk. It was way too much of a rush.
Yeah, that was I agree with you there. I think it was a little tactical misstep.
He's going to find him again. This is bad news here for Garpy, and that looks like Raisy is going to be securing map 1 with that frag. And that was a pretty quick map altogether.
It was. Unfortunate for Garpy. It looked like he was going to get back in it, but he had control. He really didn't need to charge the way he did, and it cost him there.
Well, from what I've got from my side, it was actually Raisy that picked Ruins, but we're going over to Corrupted Keep next, which I know is also a map that Raisy's tremendously strong at. But, you know, likewise, Garpy is going to be having played it very actively too. These guys practice together all the time anyway. I think it almost doesn't matter who's picking which map, as they're going to be almost evenly balanced on most of them, at least in theory.
I firmly believe at this level, you know, these guys get here for a reason. Who's playing better right now? And, you know, you're only as good as your last game or as your last map. So right now, Raisy seems to be in a groove.
Oh, he's looking very decent. Garpy was starting to hit quite a few nice little rails at the end, but it was sometimes not able to control that aggression quite the way he needs to.
There was a few mental miscues, I think.
Typically it's actually Raisy who's the one who's a bit too aggressive sometimes, where he gets himself into a little bit of trouble, but he's been very tame so far in that respect. But now moving into a map which hasn't got any railgun at all, we have seen some amazing matches here already this tournament. And let's see as we go head into hopefully the champion selection screen in just a few moments, ladies and gents. But again, with that 50-50 matchup, I'm hoping for Garpy to pull it out of the bag in the end, but I'm scared of what Raisy's bringing. Yeah,
Raisy looks comfortable, and Garpy looked a little uncomfortable based on some of the decisions. That's not typical of him based on his previous matches. That's why I think we were both a little surprised in some of the decisions. Like, you know, that's a little out of his playing zone, I guess, so to speak. And so we'll see how he adjusts this map.
Well, we've got exactly the same champions that are going to be picked by the 2 players. So Anarchy, Nyx, and Doomslayer. I mean, that's kind of like the grand final champion composition, it seems, at the moment. We can pretty much tattoo it to our chests at this point, as we know what to expect here in the October updates. I wonder, though, if... I'd like to see actually more Anarchy from Garpy. I'd like to see him maybe first pick it a little bit, because he is so good with that champion when he's got the right confidence and when he's balancing his aggression well. I'd like to see him really show Raisy that actually he's the boss of that champion, not Raisy.
I just think he's so confident with Doomslayer. That's just like, it's been his go-to guy non-stop. And I don't think that'll stop right now in the grand final. I think he feels this got him here, so why not just keep going with it? And, you know, I really don't think it's a problem with the champion picks. I just think he needs to settle down a little bit and play his game, because I really think he got a little bit out of his game that last map.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are going into map number 2 here in the grand finals for the Quake Champions duel at DreamHack Denver 2017. Raisy and Garpy moving things onwards. If Raisy takes this map, he will be on match point. Garpy to start with, heavy from his side as he heads over to the LG.
You know, it's been interesting, too, watching Raisy this tournament. Having talked to him after QuakeCon, nice guy. He's just, I was talking about how great his lightning gun was. And one of the things he asked me is do I feel he depended too much on it? And my answer was yes. I said he should try to round it out and focus on the rocket launcher a bit. And I think he's done that. His rockets seem improved this go-around.
They've been looking pretty good. Garpy, if he gets the kill, that's actually insane, because he was on 5 health before, and Raisy wasn't able to finish up the frag before Garpy made it around the corner. So one hell of a comeback in the early stages of this map.
There's that lightning gun of Raisy's. Oh, wow. Beautiful rocket.
Oh, he finished off. He only needed a bit of splash damage over there to finish off the frag, and just about finds the damage. Raisy trying to do the duty with the lightning gun, but not quite connecting with it as much as he needed.
Wow, he's just coming in aggressive. Seen several times, though, Garpy making those clutch shots when he needs to in these close fights.
Well, Mega coming up in a moment, and looks like Garpy's going to get there in the nick of time before Raisy's able to control 2 items. We've got the Berserk coming in. I think one leap comes into play, trying to land one more, and the splash can't quite take him down. Raisy, I mean, he's on sub 5 points of health just then.
It looked funny when he got hit with the rocket, launched him in the air, coming in with like a flying falcon punch. Just didn't connect. Oh, wow. Beautiful rocket placement.
Garpy looking really good at the beginning of Corrupted Keep at the moment. Some excellent shots we're getting from him. And now it seems almost the pressure has been reversed.
This is more what I've been expecting of seeing from him. Look at this placement. Just every single rocket hits, man.
Oh, he's been hitting so hard with that weapon. Garpy, though, starting off over here on the Mega side of the map, does not yet have the rockets to work with, but I'm sure that is going to be his main focus going up versus the Anarchy. Here, just waiting for him. Come closer towards me and try and do a little bit of chip damage from a distance before the rockets rain heavy. And actually, looking at the item timings, it seems there's quite a delay on the heavy armor, in fact. So I wonder if Raisy, playing with this timing, is going to try and secure Mega and then get over to armor.
Oh, Garpy's, he's got to recognize this right now. He's waiting on this. I'm surprised Raisy wasn't there back or ready to ambush him. Yeah, he did it. I knew he delayed on purpose. Yep.
I can't believe he was able to just push Garpy away at the end. Raisy was so late getting over towards that. Look at the pressure over here. Lightning gun to follow up. Does he want to close the gap even further? He's coming towards him. And Garpy, he moves back into the fight, but hasn't got any rockets left to play with.
Yeah, first when I stepped back in, I was like, oh, he's going to set up a rocket. I was like, oh, he's out of ammo.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Absolutely stuffed after that. Now, Raisy.
And that's one of the things, I've touched on that with some other players I've talked to about when an item isn't coming up like that, especially early in the match, right? Usually 30 seconds, 32 seconds, you're expecting to see that armor. If you don't see it, you got to recognize that it's likely delayed.
Yeah. And the amount of times we've seen people falter at just sitting on items when they don't exactly know when it's up. You can't be doing that at this stage. Although, here it is. Raisy, brilliant rocket that he's going to be landing, securing himself the second frag of the round.
Nice weapon switch. If he sticks with LG right there, he probably gets himself in some trouble, but it's a good weapon switch to hit that rocket.
Almost following it up, but he does a turnaround almost as if he had done the job already, and that Garpy comes right back at him.
That's a dangerous habit to get in of estimating damage and thinking, oh, that last rocket, and you turn around, it's like, wait, he's still alive.
Yeah, huge rocket there from Garpy. He might even have to close this one down because there's no Ghost Walk. He needs to finish the job at the moment.
Oh man, yeah, there he goes. That's a tough, that's a really tough area to get out of. That upper LG, it's kind of a dead area. It's hard. You're gonna take damage getting out of there if the other person knows you're there.
What?
Whoa.
I've got no comments for that.
Okay. That is just one of those hilarious quick moments.
That's just the I don't know, some mind power of Garpy. I mean, you just put so much pressure just by staring at him from like behind the stage. I don't know.
It's like a Jedi force push.
Can that be the #1 frag clip afterwards? I don't know. Anyway, Garpy, he's going to be getting the heavy armor side of the map here to start the third round off. Does need to fight his way towards the rockets that have been so good for him thus far.
I like his approach there. Typical ambush site early in the game. Wants to make sure he secures rocket launcher without getting ambushed.
That's the ticket. Now over to the LG. And again, we're getting... was a delay from Garpy on this occasion, and he should be able to work on everything now. Might be a small race from Raisy. What a rocket. Yeah,
for those who don't know, now you know, you can shoot through that crate there on the bottom, so good play by Garpy, smart. Kept Raisy off that item. Now, Raisy's in big trouble right now.
Oh, huge trouble, but the problem with Garpy is he's got very limited ammunition, so it's going to be difficult for him to start a frag and then finish it. There it is, he's closing the gap on that. He's probably going to be a small rotation over to Mega. Let's see if he actually elects to go for the lightning gun first. No, that'll be a definite no. Good rocket, trying to follow up with a little further splash. Machine gun to get the extra tickle in, and there's no health whatsoever at the end for Raisy. Brilliant fight from Garpy.
Yeah, I think Garpy's probably going to get the frag here. Yep. Here it comes. He's not getting out of this. Yep.
Wonderful job there from Garpy, and just after getting kind of crushed over on Ruins, he's looking seriously good here on Corrupted Keep.
Yeah, settling in. We mentioned that in the first map. It just seemed like he was a little out of his element. He's playing much better now.
Oh, Garpy's got to run away over here. There's going to be a lot of pressure. LG finally tickles him in the back and is going to get taken down. So one champion down apiece, and Raisy now getting control of the armor. He's got to get those timings in his head because he's been a little bit lackluster with them so far. Not terrible at all, but he needs to start really asserting himself and securing that control more frequently.
Yeah, when talking with Raisy, you know, I discussed that about, you know, his timing and things. And one of the things he admitted, he times by feel quite often and doesn't really time exactly to the second. And, you know, that can work out. Yeah, that can punish you, though, at this level.
Oh, Raisy getting a little bit close. He hasn't got the Ghost Walk up at the moment. Does take away the armor. That could be a little fortunate to have survived just then. However, if you look at Garpy's health, he is, well, he's got nothing.
Yep.
And Raisy took half of the health bubbles that were available over on that side of the map. So Garpy going to need a few moments to sort himself out a little bit while Raisy takes the Mega. I like the pressure from Garpy as well. He's making sure he's attentive to it. He knows and is keeping a track of when that item's getting taken. Heavy is going to spawn just after Ghost Walk ends, but that's Garpy who actually ended up taking it.
And a little self-damage by Raisy really didn't help himself out there.
Oh, wow. He's got to be careful at the moment. He's got no Ghost Walk, but that final rocket, great damage. And the long-range shotgun was enough to take him down.
Wow. It just looked like Garpy was about to turn the momentum around and take control. And Raisy just wouldn't let it happen.
I think Garpy can still come back in this, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's managed to get the items afterwards. Raisy's only just got the Ghost Walk back up. Let's see if Garpy can close the gap soon. I suspect it would be after the armor. Oh, maybe Raisy is just going to sacrifice himself to the rocket gods of Garpy. And he's going to be left on his Doomslayer. One champion left for Raisy, possibly for this entire map. So we could see the things tied up.
Yeah, I don't know if he didn't realize Garpy was up in that area, but it was very careless the way he just kind of strafed, jumped into, oh my goodness.
Mid-air, almost landing, going for the glory shots once again. He's going to edge back, holding tight to this heavy armor, and with almost 15 seconds between the major items,
plenty.
It's very nice for him to get a lot of work done between everything.
Yeah, and for spectators maybe a little newer, delaying the items, getting them separated is really important, so you don't have to run straight to the item and make your path, you know, predictable. You can take various paths to the item and get good position.
Oh, that was a good little move by Raisy, actually.
Raisy was able to steal.
The double jump as well, so he didn't take too much damage from the rockets. He's got to hope that he doesn't jump off the edge just on his own for no reason again. Not bad rockets to follow up, trying to get the mid-air as well, but Raisy is going to be landing it instead, and he is going to secure himself around on Corrupted Keep. So no 3-0 sweeps so far for either side, but we had a 3-1 for Raisy on Ruins. I wonder if Garpy's going to be able to close it out, or if he's going to maybe struggle a bit on a map that Raisy is typically an expert of.
Yeah, that was a big frag for Raisy right there. And at the end there, it's like Garpy went for his mid-air, missed. Raisy went for his mid-air, hit. And there you go.
You want to do it. There's so many possibilities when you're going up versus Doomslayer. Garpy, though, under pressure, and he is holding on in this fight. Going for a punch is hard to justify. Trying to get over to the health bubbles, but again, seems a little over-aggressive. Now we're going to get an Anarchy versus Anarchy.
A good start for Raisy, getting him off that Doomslayer, as we've seen as one of Garpy's favorite champs.
Wow. What a rocket descent, forcing out that injection quickly. And Garpy is able to secure the heavy armor from that.
Raisy's still in decent shape. He's got, but that rocket didn't help. Now he's not in so great shape.
That was decent, getting rid of some of the overstack that Garpy had. And with the items coming from just over 10 seconds, I wonder which one he is going to be looking to pressure from this side. They might split it. After that rocket damage, Garpy can't really justify coming over here. This is such a huge risk, but he keeps coming in on this. Raisy's going to take him down. He had the Mega on the other side of the map ready and waiting for him, where Raisy was not pressuring it.
Yeah, a little surprised. Again, it's kind of mental miscues. I don't know. It's easy for us to say that.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he goes in and gets the kill and it makes us look stupid. So, but yeah, he had the Mega. He definitely had the option to back off, not to mention the green armor in the back. He could have kept his stack and set up for a better position.
True. If you got the frag, he would certainly have looked the genius. Raisy, though, pretty weak after using the injection. Well, if you look at both players' health, they are both pretty damn low.
Yeah, but Garpy actually has some armor to help him out, so.
Raisy moving away, going to see if he can collect these small armors himself now. And maybe even look at re-engaging. Should know, though, that he's going against... Wow. Great initial rocket, and Garpy trying to truly maximize the damage he's getting with those switches to the machine gun.
Yeah, it's very intelligent. I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing with the machine gun.
Raisy's going to have to settle down a bit. So much risk because he's moving them around the map so quickly. He's not really taking a moment to stand still, pause, try and listen to actually what Garpy's doing. He's not going to get the mega health, and we're going to get a direct chase from Garpy, which is it's quite hard to do that. Wow, he's going to meet him head on actually in the middle of the map. You can see the Raisy's routes are slowly starting to be understood by Garpy. And I think at some point, Garpy's just going to have to stand still, and Raisy will walk right into him.
Yeah, he's making a lot of noise. He's not, I mean, he's not making any effort to be quiet. He's strafe jumping all around the map. So, I mean, if Garpy just slows it down for a second. Oh, almost.
Look, exactly. He's almost like he knew what Raisy was about to do there. I think he dropped by accident just then, actually. Fortunate to get away with his life. Finds him directly. Got to watch out for the shotgun, but the rockets are sensational from him. Trying to even be aggressive despite having less health and armor. I mean, this is just a personal read on Raisy. Brilliant follow-up into the lava. He actually got burned by the fire as well, so that is going to be Raisy losing one of his champions. And Garpy, with just one left, he's got to take down the Nyx, and even sudden death then can be okay to contend with. Very optimistic for Garpy, thinking he can get that mega health under a lot of pressure at the moment. 9 health remaining. How can he survive this? It is not possible.
Yeah, that was nothing he can do there. I agree with you. Going for the mega was a little optimistic, especially because he had to burn his ghost walk, and you have to wait 3 seconds, which guarantees Raisy's going to pick it up in that time. So maybe, again, a little too aggressive at times.
It was just a slightly aggressive positioning. He should have stood further back, maybe just gone for some spam instead, but obviously we got the power of hindsight over here.
Yeah.
These guys are absolutely powering through the matches today here in this intense grand finals. But Raisy, is he going to be able to pick up the second map after being 2-0 down at the beginning?
Yeah, he just does not stop. Yeah, that's some great aim by Raisy. We've seen this earlier from Garpy, getting a little stubborn on that side. Did some good damage himself, though.
Yeah, very good, very good. Armor's not up for a little bit. That's a good rocket over there, and Garpy almost stuck on that side. He's got about 1 health to go. And Mega is up in a moment, but is Garpy even going to be able to challenge over there? Looks like not. We need to see Raisy chase this one. Maintain that pressure. The Berserk was used already, and he's got to cut him off somehow. There it is, shotgun, but it's not a direct shot. Does he want to continue the pressure at the moment? I strongly suspect, I mean, he should. He's found him. Gonna find him in the air, but not quite able to land the damage. And now that he's on 48 health, he's gonna have to be the one to back off. I say back off, but he's going in for the aggression once again. He is absolutely mad to continue this and to continue put himself on the edge where he's vulnerable to a sort of strong rocket.
Yeah, similar to Garpy earlier, I felt maybe he could have backed off and tried to defend Mega and deter Garpy from getting there just enough so he can grab it and run away again. But hey, you got to give credit to Garpy.
Yeah. Oh, very good survival from him, actually, because he was so weak before, and Raisy had a massive opportunity to take a lead in this round. But he's held on to it, and now all of a sudden it looks like Garpy is positioned better to do things. He's got the Berserk out, he lands 1 punch, the Mega, however, has been taken, and I think Garpy's now got to back off. He's got about 55 health remaining, and he needs to get the resources. This use of Berserk has been a bit too much from Garpy. He's got to slow down with it, otherwise he's going to find the over-aggression could cost him rounds, cost him maps, and maybe even the grand final. Yeah, you read my mind on that one. I was literally about to comment on how it just doesn't seem like he's getting much out of that Berserk, and Raisy's really ready for it. So, yeah, he might want to think about pulling it back a little bit and using it a little less. I like when he's using it defensively and when he's using it for just general mobility around the map, but it's just when he's going in and Raisy isn't able to be killed by just 1 punch, but instead 2 or 3, it's like, right now you're taking too many risks. And the gap, right? The distance between the 2 players sometimes seems a little far. The rocket's there, injection forced out, and he was just inches away from death for a moment. And maybe we'll settle back down to a moment where we can breathe. Rockets exchange, 7 health to go. Is it going to be the good weapon switch? Not before Raisy can get down to the Mega. And he follows up with the lightning gun. Garpy missed the opportunity when he's normally so good with machine gun. Yeah, that's kind of interesting because
the whole map he's been good about. Oh, I'm going to swip up, do a little machine gun damage. That time he did not, and he had 7 health, and he fell right on top of the Mega.
And absolutely uncanny that it ends up like that. But we still got just under 2 minutes where Garpy can try and make it back in this. He's got the Anarchy himself, and I believe he's got the rockets to work with. But look at that, 2 huge items that Raisy's just taken, where he can now suddenly turn around the aggression, unless Garpy's able to string together a couple of these amazing rockets we've been getting from him. But the shotgun work here from Raisy sees himself a frag away to being 2 maps up in the grand final.
I like the speed in which he plays. Just a pleasure to watch. Really fun player, this guy.
And so we haven't been getting too many slow rounds so far. It has been aggressive. We're getting lots of fighting going on. And pressure down there from Garpy, securing himself the mega health. I don't think he's out of the round just yet, but if he wants to stay in it, he's got to get that frag on Raisy within the next 30 seconds.
He needs it now. I don't think...
30 seconds is even a lot to ask for.
Yeah, it's because even still, Raisy's going to switch to Nyx as a second pick. I can almost guarantee it. So even if he gets the frag, it's not looking good for him right now. It's
going to
go down 2-0.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how little health he has. He's just got to go right in, do something. Mega's up over there. You just got to push it. It doesn't matter at this stage. Even no matter how suicidal it looks, you have just got to do something. Machine gun coming out. Now close the gap somehow. Garpy only with the rockets to work with. He can keep a track perfectly of where Raisy is, but he just cannot catch up to him. 15 seconds to go. Raisy can smell match point.
Yeah, when you're in
grand final.
When you're in those situations, you're correct with saying you just got to go for it.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do.
And it doesn't matter if you die on that stage either. That's going to be GG here in map number 2. And Raisy is going to put himself on match point by being 2-0 up here in the grand finals. Garpy was 2-0 up here in rounds on the Corrupted Keep. What on earth happened?
Well, we saw this happen against Dewey.
Yeah.
Raisy really, I mean, sometimes when his back is against the wall, he seems to lock in. And I think the speed he's playing with, I remember we kind of touched on controlling pace. Garpy's not controlling the pace here. It's Raisy controlling the pace.
It's true. I feel like almost when it's a bit like Raisy did against Rafa. When he's up, he's feeling confident, but before he's able to close out, he kind of like, I don't know, he freezes. And he's just not able to take that as sort of assertion like he normally does. And I think Garpy suffered from that a bit too. So we'll have to see though, because Garpy's life is on the line moving into the next map. We are going to be getting Blood Covenant. And this is something that Raisy said he wasn't a huge fan of before when he was playing up against Kilson. So let's see maybe if we can get something in the bag here for Garpy, representing the UK.
Yeah, he needs to get it going. I really thought he was going to pull that map out. He was looking really solid, but yeah, just a few miscues. The Berserk plays a couple times just didn't work out for him. And then, of course, credit to Raisy for landing some great shots, running around the map, making very difficult on him. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. I'm curious because Raisy's playing sharp.
He is playing very sharp. Now, in terms of the champion composition, we've seen both of them picking the Nyx. The Anarchy and the Doomslayer for both maps so far. Do you think we're going to get any changes, or is it going to be business as usual?
I think it's business as usual. Maybe somebody tries to bust out a Slash, I think would be interesting, but it looks like look how quickly they're picking. They're going with their usual picks.
Yeah, I think they know. They're reading each other's mind. Business as usual for these guys. It will be the Nyx, the Anarchy, and the Doomslayer to take things forward. Just plenty of mobility that they have with all of those champions, and it seems to be something that they prefer, despite a slightly weak stack on the Nyx and the Anarchy.
Very curious to see what happens. This is, man, I'm a little shocked it's not closer, Raisy, but you got to give Raisy credit. I like to give credit to the victor here who's ahead. I mean, he's doing what he needs to do to get the frags and get these rounds.
But it's to close it out now. This is where Raisy's got to say, I've got to take that last map, and then I can be the champion. You know, winning an international event.
He shouldn't be thinking about being champion. He shouldn't be thinking about international event. He shouldn't be thinking about any of that stuff. He should be thinking about the map and his opponent right now. That's it.
But it's so hard to keep your head away from that. When we interviewed him, and he was thinking like, I don't want to get the reverse sweeps again like I did in the previous round, and he knew that was on his mind, but able to just focus on the final round to make things count the most. Garpy at the moment, he's got to think about, I don't want to get 3-0. I don't mind that it's another Maestro player. I've got to get back into this. Looks like we're getting into map 3, guys. It is Blood Covenant here in the grand final of the DreamHack Denver 2017 Quake Champions Duel Tournament. Raisy and Garpy getting kicked off with the Brit. Garpy straight onto Rail, gonna collect the rocket launcher and probably a little late pickup on the armor, but that is absolutely fine from him.
Yeah, common strategy there to delay the initial pickup. Now, if he wants, he can just kind of force the issue and force a fight at Mega Health and try to establish control over both major items on the map.
So you're trying to protect that rail gun a little bit, and to be honest, the rocket as well is worth keeping an eye on. But it looks like Raisy might have already swept across over to that rail early on, while Garpy was moving around a little bit slower. Great rail shot. He's got to get a foot. Wow, he's going to clean that up before the Mega was even taken. That is the type of rails we need to be seeing from Garpy here on Blood Covenant.
Great stuff from him. I like to say I called that one. I thought he was going to go pressure Mega Health, and he certainly did. He's in great shape now.
And it's almost as if he needed to hit shots like this before in the previous maps. At least finally, if he can string some more things together and secure some quick rounds, then he's going to be feeling a little more relieved. But curious as to why he's pushed himself over towards the Mega side of the map. It is the armor that comes up first.
This is an error.
I think it's maybe ambitious with the timing, but and ultimately it's going to be a fair exchange on the items, so he's going to get away with that. Let's see if he's able to pull out any of the damage, or if it's going to be Raisy continuing to be able to weaken his stack. Although he just saw the Ghost Walk getting used, in fact. Wow, what a rail. Straight out of the Ghost Walk, collecting those hourglasses immediately. It's going to find him. That armor's not going to be up for about 5 seconds, and Garpy should probably recognize this and back the hell off.
Yeah, I thought he did some decent damage. Raisy's not in great. He's going to have to pick up some health here. Yeah, I mean, Nyx doesn't have a great stack to begin with, so even with just basic health and 100 armor there, it's... I think if you're looking at Garpy's stack right now, he should feel pretty good about any kind of close quarter engagement.
Definitely, and he shouldn't feel forced to want to play a fast game. This is absolutely fine for him. As long as survival is going to be... Well, survival is going to be the key component. He just needs to keep managing. Land a rail here and there, and you are going to be absolutely fine. Is that okay? Mate, you can have that heavy armor as long as I get the Mega. I think that the difference is going to be when Raisy decides to break that stalemate of shared items and try and aggress over to Garpy's side of the map. Do something a little bit more surprising and less routine.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna, he's gonna turn on that aggression that at some point here. But I really like what Garpy did. Just kind of took a couple pop shots with. Oh man, there's been a couple times Garpy's made a few misreads and Raisy's gotten behind him.
Well, Garpy has actually been aggressive over here on the heavy armor. He's going to use the Berserk to try and get over to the other side of the map a little sooner. Now he can pressure the Mega. This is where he had the success early on. He's just got one rail left in the gun. He might have got a small read, but he's not going to follow in on that one. He just heard a sound cue there.
It's one of those, like, he knew in his gut that he was right there, but it's just didn't quite trust himself, you know?
Did he just spot him there? Ghost Walk was used, but the armor doesn't spawn for a second. He can't quite follow up with the damage, and the LG, wow, the rocket just before the armor gets picked up. What a clutch shot there for Garpy.
Yeah, a little fall-away rocket. Raisy just walked right into it, I think, trying to grab the armor.
I don't think Garpy felt certain that that was going to happen. That was just a kind of fadeaway shot that
it was a retreating rocket, and it just landed.
Perfect for him. What a rail shot from him. He's going to have to back off a little bit, though, because we've got some pressure from Raisy, and there's not much stack for him to deal with. Double jumping, trying to avoid those rockets. Fortunately for him, there is the rail from Raisy, and he's going to hit him square between the eyes and get his first frag here on Blood Covenant.
Great call by Raisy to get aggressive there. He needed to make something happen. Now he has a full minute to try to get a second frag.
Unfortunately for him, he's not able to close the gap a bit more with the Berserk, but probably a blessing in disguise, as Garpy would have been able to land a couple of free shots off on him. Raisy, he needs to do something here in these 40 seconds, and there is a fast anarchy from Garpy looking for the mid-air, but can't quite land it there. And he's run out of rockets at such a critical moment. Can't get the rail. Garpy moves out of angle just in the nick of time.
Oh man, I'm sure he wants some of those shots back. He had him. I thought he had him.
Just give me one extra rocket, and maybe we'd be able to finish the job from that. Raisy has to close the gap once more. He's heard him, so he should be able to land a shot, but it's rails like this that are stopping him from contesting this round much further. Sub 10 seconds. Garpy on the other side of it, and we need Raisy to just close the gap somehow, but that is such a good rail from Garpy. It's going to prevent him from getting any closer, and Garpy will get round 1.
Big for Garpy. He obviously needs this map no matter, I mean, this is it. He can't lose any more maps, so.
You can see the focus from him as well. Probably going to be disappointed what happened on the previous maps. That was a brilliant first frag from him as well.
Yeah, good start for him landing those 2 rails. Really set the tone.
Oh,
nice fall away rail by Raisy.
Yeah, very good from him. And that bought him a little bit of security for just a moment, but the big items are going to be taken after that fight took place. And Garpy is going to immediately counter-aggress by coming over to the bridge. And Raisy is going to squeal and run away. Garpy is going to be re-engaged on this. Nice little rocket, but that pillar getting in the way of any angle that Raisy was looking for. Raisy, time to get out.
Well, yeah, unfortunate for Raisy. He did land a great rob, popped them in the air, but it just happened to put him right behind that pillar.
He's got a stack to work with on the heavy. And Mega has just been taken by Garpy, so he's certainly going to have a good stack. Loving the movement that we're getting from Raisy at the moment. Wanting to keep that position over on the bridge, but also manage his rail ammunition at the same time. Searching for these drive-by rails. They are hard shots to hit, but he's able to stay mobile and not be too vulnerable. But he's walked right into a close-range fight that he didn't want to be a part of.
Yeah, walked into a trap there. Fortunate to get out, but it's not over yet. He's still not out of danger. Oh, whoa. I don't know if he wanted to go for the heavy armor. It's 5 health. He's not getting out of that.
There we are. Garpy finally found that splash damage that he needed in order to get that last frag. Incredibly important from him. And Garpy continues this unrelenting pressure here in the 3rd map.
I was a little surprised Raisy went up the stairway to heavy armor so aggressively, like he did.
Yeah, it was unusual. He just kind of sort of trap himself in some sense. And Raisy coming up close, and there is sky high over there from Garpy, but only 11 HP to go. Both players not in good shape, and Raisy is the one who's going to hit the important rail.
Wow, just Raisy. We saw this from him at QuakeCon too. His aim is very much phenomenal, and you know, you pair that with his good movement, and he's obviously been improving his mental game. And as I mentioned before, talking to him about his rocket play, he said it was something he's going to work on, and I see a noticeable difference.
100%. Both items going to be spawning at the same time soon. That rail is going to give away Raisy's position. Good to see Garpy with the Anarchy at the moment. What kind of pressure is he going to put on as that Ghost Walk is not up for the time being? This stack will give him some good amount of confidence. Closing the gap is just another question. Easier said than done, after all. Avoiding all damage for the time being, but just taking a position on the Mega, hopefully not actually searching for the item. Nice little rocket damage done by Raisy before going into the Ghost Walk. Might buy himself some time, but what an attack over there. Going to find the follow-up rockets as well. And Raisy is going to be able to get an advantage now in this round.
Now, very good ambush by Raisy dropping down. That is a hot ambush point for people unfamiliar with the map down there in that curved area about that small armor. Oh, man.
Wow. The mid-air following up with a shotgun down. That was amazing here from Raisy, managing to get himself around on Blood Covenant. Wonderfully done. That was a combo you're looking for. We've seen a lot of people looking for the mid-airs, and when you're landing them, it works out pretty sweet for you. Awesome stuff from Raisy.
It just looks pretty too.
Exactly.
It's a great highlight shot.
What else do you need in FPS gaming?
That's what I'm saying. I love mid-air rockets.
Now, Raisy, eventually he's got a whole heap of the useful weapons early on. And not often do you see people stretching out to get the rockets as well. Nice. But he gets the Mega afterwards, and great initial damage.
Like the way he took the splash damage out of play, jumped off the ledge, landed his, and got out of there.
In the grand final, Raisy is going for some pretty ambitious jumps. I love what he's doing, trying to collect the rail without actually getting on the platform and then continuing over towards the bridge. Eventually gets himself the heavy and has to use the injection, but I'd love to see him execute that. But you know what? Pick your time carefully here. You're in a grand final. You're contesting for a lot right now.
Nice shot by Garpy, keeping Raisy a little defensive here.
Yeah, I mean, he was railable there, and Raisy recognized that and was like, I'm just going to wiggle around and get the hell off the bridge as soon as possible. Breaks away from that moment. That is going to be heavy armor up for Garpy. And Raisy's going to be looking to secure this. Garpy might be able to attack onto the Mega Health quite quickly. It will be taken by Raisy, but they might be able to get some extra damage. Not quite going to happen in the end. Garpy knows where he is, but is not able to get there to close the gap.
Yeah, it was a nice change of direction to go down their stairs, and then even delaying in that little wall between. Just kind of made Garpy think for a minute. Is he going low? Is he coming back up? Just making your opponent think a little bit like that is all the time you need sometimes.
That's getting close once more, and Raisy, he just wants to get out of the way. These fights don't suit him just yet, so he's going to commit once he's able to get that entry damage ahead of time and then go in close and make that sort of calculated chaos where he can secure a kill. He just gets a rocket and runs. That was a big rocket, actually. I did not recognize how much damage it did. It was over 90 damage he just got from that.
I think he's just moving so fast, there is no turning around for that.
Garpy down below. He maybe would have heard a couple of steps just then, so he needs to keep the information.
Oof.
This chip damage is starting to have great effect, in fact.
Yep.
And I think that was a signal. Landing that rail was enough.
Yep.
And he keeps hitting these shots. What? Oh, almost stringing together one more. Garpy does get himself the Mega Health. It's going to be a drop down directly, but he goes in with the rail. Great retaliatory play there from Garpy. You hit the rails, you drop down close range with the railgun.
Yep.
He maybe thought that Garpy was running away from him, but he just turned around and was like, mate, I'm here, I'm ready with the rockets.
Yeah, it's an old strategy, but it's a good strategy.
Yeah.
And he had enough to take a rail, and when because of the reload time, Raisy was done with the rockets in his face. Good play by Garpy. I absolutely caught him off guard.
And Raisy possibly going to regret that in the future, but no time to think about it at the moment. Garpy with the edge here on round 3, hitting some great rails as well. There's no Ghost Walk available, and if you can sniff out where Raisy's going, he might be able to secure one more frag, close the gap, almost lands the other. Going in actually with the punch. Can he close the gap further? I don't know if he spotted where he was going. The music was probably pretty loud in his ears just then.
Yeah, Raisy got out of there quick.
And Mag is up. Need that pressure over there. Oh, he just used his double jump before he hit the ground, but it's all good for him.
Oh, no.
I think that was just going out of Ghost Walk, so...
Almost cost him that little delay missing the jump pad.
But that was interesting information that Raisy just gave Garpy, showing him that he had just used the ability. Now Garpy's going to realize, well, if he can take away a few of the hourglasses on this side of the map, I think that would be quite a big deal, in fact.
Yeah, and he's got a good stack. He can really push the Nyx right now. Nyx is not going to have her cooldown for a little bit here. I'm sure he's looking to cycle those hourglasses himself.
And now that Raisy's got his cooldown back on Ghost Walk, he's going to maybe have a little bit more confidence to try and get some chip damage away himself. But such a little stack, and actually Ghost Walk was used already, almost going for the perforation. In fact, great damage done from Raisy, and Garpy forced to break away, being available for just a moment.
Yeah, good ambush. It's one of the things you need to do. He's only got about 30 seconds left, so he's going to have to make a play here.
Yeah, I think Garpy recognized he possibly could have challenged for the armor, but considering he is in an advantage at the moment, there's no point in some risk. Giving that respect over to Raisy, now trying to block him off from charging into the Mega Room. 20 seconds to go. Raisy, he's going to be looking for something. Garpy just running on his mind. He's going to use the Berserk. This is an interesting use of Berserk. He may have just heard that he was being chased for a moment and wanted to get that added speed going. Going up to the top part of the map. 5 seconds to go, and of course we're going to have to get some type of aggression from Raisy, but it is not going to be enough, and this will allow Garpy to put himself onto map point.
Great time to delay like that. I agree with you. He backed away. He recognized the time. You don't want to do that. We saw it earlier a couple times. I think I can't remember exactly which match, but players were pushing in that last 20 seconds or so, and it really came back to cost him.
And we just saw that frag over there where Raisy went in for the close range rail, and that's a haunting moment for him. You want to be spot on with your weapon switches for the right situation. But here in round 4, Garpy, again, blessed with an opportunity to pick up a map. He couldn't make use of it last time, though. He had this chance. Let's see if he can do it on this occasion.
great rail.
Yeah, awesome damage at the moment from Raisy. He's going to keep trying to put on a little bit of pressure over here. He's coming up very close. They're looking for just a close-range rocket fight. Garpy might be using this opportunity to get a frag himself, but he can't hit the rail. Raisy turns around, and he's going to be able to be more accurate than the Brett.
Just one of those situations. Whoever lands that next shot first, and it was Raisy.
And it looked like Raisy was completely fleeing away from the fight with no intention of just turning around for the shot. But, you know, he's there paying attention and being pretty damn clutch. So Garpy's got to collect himself a little bit if he wants to see this round going his way. Otherwise, those chances might be fading away, as he's been struggling more than Raisy actually to close out some of these rounds. At the moment, it's like Raisy's conquered all of his demons from earlier in the tournament, and now he seems to really be, you know, mastering the duel and looking like a possible champion over here.
Yeah, he's looking really good right now. Obviously, he's up 2 maps to 0 already, so it's up to him to close the show right now. If you're in, obviously Garpy needs to win to stay alive, but if you're Raisy, you don't want to give him any hope. You want to end it right now and win the championship.
No, absolutely. Now, let's see, he's found him. He keeps hitting these rails. Raisy's accuracy is just being absolutely unbelievable. Shotgun blast and another one. Raisy is 1 frag away from tying up this round.
I like the switch to shotgun as well. Good weapon switch. His rail, I agree. He's just hitting some fantastic rail shots.
His accuracy is unbelievable. I love the combat skills that we're getting from Raisy, and we're now seeing him tighten things up so much more with the control as well. Such a well-rounded dueler at the moment. Armor's up. Raisy moves out of Berserk mode and now going to be able to challenge with the weaponry once more and getting rid of a lot of this. Wow, close range.
Nice.
Great force over here of the Ghost Walk, and now he knows that it's going to be business time moving forward. Get this Mega, and now it is time to look at closing in this round.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if he goes straight in at this next at first sight, because he knows that Ghost Walk's down. He's got a great stack. He has both items timed, and he can afford to be aggressive here.
It's about finding him. Did he not spot him for a second? I don't know if we only saw just a clip of him through the X-ray or if elsewhere.
Nice shot by Garp there.
Looking for a bit of HMG damage over there, but nothing going to work from there. I can't believe he's hitting some of these rails. They're absolutely amazing shots. And Garpy immediately has to run away from this, going in for the diving Berserk.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's got 75 health left. He needs to get something at the moment. Raisy, can he close it out? He's not able to. Somehow, Raisy comes back in that fight and is able to secure the round.
He got away with it that time. He literally made the same mistake of dropping down the lower pillars with the rail. It almost cost him. He got hit twice, and he started to run away. But yeah, somehow Garpy just couldn't get the finish coming out of Ghost Walk. It seemed like he had his back, but
yeah, I'm surprised Garpy wasn't able to finish off that frag. But Raisy right now is on match point. He's staring at possibly being an international dual champion in Quake Champions. This is insane for him, considering how we've seen this player grow over the previous months. And we're checking out his Anarchy right now, which he's been loving as the first pick in all of this series. And his rail has been so effective, I think, against Garpy.
Yeah.
All the entry damage that he's been getting, following up with his good aggressive control on the items, and see, going in with the lightning gun, something that we don't often expect. Can he close out the frag? Looking with the rockets, and Garpy, it's almost like he's just desperate for something using this Berserk. The rocket's gonna find him in the end. Garpy goes down and is 1 step closer to championship title here for Raisy.
yeah, a little, again, sometimes when he's using the Berserk, it's
almost
probably,
desperation.
yeah, a little desperation. And then I don't think he realized that Raisy used his injection, so I think maybe he thought Raisy was lower than he actually was.
Raisy managing to collect a little bit more health and armor to top himself up a bit. They're going to encounter each other, 6 health left. Raisy somehow managed to hit these rails anyway, looking for one more angle, but not quite able to deliver there.
Wow. He's hitting some flick rails. It's one thing to hit, a rail when you're lining up a shot and you know somebody. He's just running around the corner and just throwing his mouth like mouse 90 degrees of direction and just hitting the shot.
Oh my God, the rocket to rail combo as well. I mean, he's landing the shots that you expect to be seeing in a grand final of Quake. This is unbelievable from Raisy. I can't believe he's been down 2-0 now in 2 straight maps, but is coming back. He's a frag away from taking the title.
What a highlight reel shot. That is honestly my favorite weapon combination in all of Quake, is the rocket to rail. fantastic job by Raisy.
He's looking for the pummel right now. All right, mate, you might be in the same team as me, but I want to close you out however I please.
Oh, he hit that rail on the way down. He is so low. Oh my goodness.
I thought that was going to be the frag as well. He's found him just a moment. This is it. You can tell that he's feeling himself. He's going in for it. Garpy hasn't got anything, and he is going to be the champion. Raisy is going to be winning at DreamHack Denver 2017 in the Quake Champions Duel Tournament. He has done it.
Wow, congratulations to Raisy. I know he's been working hard on his game, and it's really paid dividends for him. And hey, congratulations to Team Maestro.
For sure.
You know, both team members were in the finals. And props to Garpy there. You know, I thought he played well all tournament.
As the host.
But, you know, it was Raisy's time today, and it's his time, and he took advantage of it.
Absolutely amazing from Raisy. We saw such great potential over at QuakeCon. We see that he's been doing so much hard work moving through the online tournament circuit, making it over to DreamHack Denver and securing this title. I mean, we've already seen the beginning, but is this continuing to see the building of a huge legacy? We've got Jahar with us once again, and we can maybe break things down a little bit.
To answer that question, I think it's a resounding yes. I mean, you say the word potential in QuakeCon in one sentence, and we saw a lot of those like almost maybes in the top 16 in Duel, and we saw a lot of those come back with a vengeance here at DreamHack. So yeah, I think this is going to be setting up a really good precedent for DreamHack Winter.
And I stayed true to form today, being the jinx. Sorry, Garpy.
Well, that's it. When I said I was with my heart, I was with Garpy with my brain. I think Raisy, I mean, he's such a talented dueler. He came into this tournament ranked #1 in the world on the plus forward rankings, and he's going to be retaining that title for the time being. So it's not all this online business. On LAN, this guy is absolutely legit. He is so damn powerful.
Another good pick for Maestro indeed, and it's been a great weekend for them all around. I mean, it's just been duel after duel after duel, and I mean, we saw some comebacks. We saw a really good one on Blood Covenant, and absolutely amazing one on Burial Chamber. I mean, that was not going to be... Oh, was it? No, it was... well, there were two of them.
Blood Covenant.
He was down
Corrupted.
to Corrupted Keep, right?
Sorry,
yeah. What mode are we doing again? What day is it? What state is this?
Stage 4, Denver, something or other.
But he was down to his last life. Yeah. It wasn't just, oh, I'm down 2 rounds. I'm down to my last frag, and he pulled it back. So I think we're going to have him here in just a moment. We might have some top 3 shots here.
Yeah.
I think we can go ahead and start looking at those. There were so many, like you mentioned, Machiavelli, a lot of great combo shots between the rockets and rails. No shortage of those here, but starting off here on Sarnath, I mean, the LG coming out of Raisy was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he was able to lock in on the LG on several occasions. And as we mentioned earlier, several players have kind of strayed away from it, but Raisy showed that clearly, if you use it correctly, it's still useful.
Awesome rocket to rail over there at the end. And just while Garpy's got that crazy movement going on as well, such excellent execution.
Well, here's the man himself, Raisy. Congratulations, DreamHack Denver.
Thank you.
First one ever for Quake Champions, and that is one hell of a title to have.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. It's an amazing match.
Now, looking at you up there, like in between every round, it seemed that you kind of went into yourself a little bit and did some deep thinking. What was going through your head in those moments?
There were rounds that I lost because I was overly aggressive, and I kind of let Garpy have control. And I was foolishly running into him, thinking that I'm gonna win the fight, and that was not the case. And so I was kind of mad at myself in some of the rounds, but when I managed to make a comeback, I was still like feeling shaky about it, because it could have been like better for me in some situations, but I made it hard for myself. Like it was more difficult that way when I handled situations like overly aggressively. And but in the end, I won. I don't know. Kind of unexpected for me, because we've been playing with Garpy for many matches before, practicing, and he won mostly. But this time I came out on top.
Yeah, I mean, something that, okay, I want to round it up with a positive, of course, but something before Build coming to this event, sometimes closing off games is something you've had a little bit of trouble with. But since at the end of the group stages, you've been absolutely spectacular at it. It's like you've overcome your demons, and it's like you've really been able to show that you've got much stronger sort of psychological presence in the game. Do you feel any changes yourself, or is it just kind of business as usual?
I was just focusing as much as I could. sometimes I was the one winning the round and the opponent was the one coming back, and other times I was the one losing and I made a comeback. I was just focusing on the current round all the time.
I wish I could say I could spend 5 seconds in between each round and go, okay, here's what I did wrong. I'm not going to do that again. And then not actually do that again.
Yeah.
Not all of us can do that. So that's really fantastic, especially that one where you're down to 1 frag on, not Burial Chamber.
Corruption Keep, yeah.
Yeah. And that really pulled it in. And you say, you know, you're doing things about like, not trying to go as aggressive, but in some cases it seemed like you just really cranked up the juice there. I mean, we saw chases into pillars between rockets and rails, and there had to be those points where you knew, okay, this is it. This is the time to get the hit in.
Yeah. Like I'm mostly aggressive, and when I feel like that my opponent is really low on HP, I don't let him heal up again. I'm just chasing after him until I kill him, or maybe I die, because sometimes that happens as well.
I'm curious actually, because what you've done by winning this, not only have you taken a nice amount of money home, but you also secure your spot at DreamHack Winter. What does the roadmap look like from now to DreamHack Winter? Are you already thinking? You've had a few seconds to digest, but are you thinking about how you're going to prepare?
I have no idea yet. I was not expecting to win this event, especially after I lost to Rafa, the same way I lost on QuakeCon. Basically, I was the one winning, but then I made a mistake and then he won. So yeah, I'm still digesting this.
I see. Fair enough.
I'm curious because I talked to you a little bit after Rafa's game, and we talked about item timing a little bit. Was this something you focused on last night, maybe going into this match, making sure, hey, because it seemed like your timing is a little more on point in these later matches, and was that something you really mentally said, you know what, I need to make sure that I time these items a little better?
Yeah, I never used to time items because I was kind of, I guess, lazy to look up to the top of the screen to times.
You would do it more by feel then?
Yeah, I used to play like that, but after I lost to Rafa now, because his timings were on point, and then against Dewey it was really difficult because also his timings were really perfect all the time. I was like, okay, just focus more on timings. I was not doing all the time against Garpy now. I was not doing it all the time, but I focused more on it, and I didn't just play by feeling. So some of the time I had pretty good idea of when they will appear again.
And again, I mean, that's usually a process that takes a lot of players like a bit of time to go from not timing at all to, okay, I'm going to start timing things perfectly. And again, this is all since yesterday. So it's an amazing feat. So, you know, here's my pleasure is to give you this trophy.
Thanks.
Don't bludgeon anybody with it.
Congratulations. Well earned.
Thank you.
Congrats, Raisy. And let's have a quick recap of this bracket that has given us so many amazing matches this weekend. This is one of the best brackets I think I've seen in Quake Champions, period. I think for a inaugural DreamHack Quake Champions event, this has been absolutely fantastic. And like you said, as we look forward to DreamHack Winter, this definitely sets a huge precedent.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be gunning after you at the moment, checking out your VODs. I wonder, do you think, actually, before we let go and let Jahar finish off everything, I'm really curious that we saw just Nyx, Anarchy, and Doomslayer used there. Do you think this is something that's going to evolve a little bit differently moving forward, or is future uncertain?
After playing against Dewey, I think a lot of players are gonna try Clutch again, because in this current patch it's really useful, and if you can play it well, like movement-wise, and you know when to use the shield, it's really dangerous. But I myself, I think I'm just gonna stick with this current lineup I'm having, and I don't think I'm gonna play Sorleg. I've tried it, it didn't work for me that well after this most recent patch, and I'm really satisfied with my Anarchy. It really pulled me out of the sticky situations a lot of times.
Yeah. One of the other things before we let you go is I noticed we talked at QuakeCon a little bit. Have you been working on your rockets a little bit? Because they certainly seemed a little more on point. You were landing some mid-airs, like some highlight reel shots, versus before it seemed a little shaky for you. Is this something you focused on as well?
Not the rockets, no, but I knew that my reel was really bad at the time of QuakeCon. So ever since then, I've been focusing more on practicing rails, like going 3-4 matches and just railing all the whole match and playing like that. And I didn't really care, like if I missed or I lost the match or whatever. I was just focusing on trying to use it as much as I could and improve it. So I did that, and you know, my LG was always good. But they nerfed it this patch, so I could only use it in certain situations. But for example, finishing off opponents or against tanky champions, it's still useful, kind of. But my rockets, I I don't really practice that one.
Well, you were in the zone, my friend. You were landing some very pretty
The rails were
rockets.
absolutely sick.
And the rails, yeah. Just, he's coming around at 100 miles an hour and just flicking these shots. Very impressive.
It's just awesome to hear, like, oh yeah, I guess my rockets were okay, and you just won. You just
won
brought
the
DreamHack, man. That's amazing stuff. So again, I mean, this has been a fantastic weekend. It was a long haul between Sacrifice and Duel. But guys, I think we're getting very close to wrapping it up. I mean, the Twitch audience has been fantastic. Production's been fantastic. Zoot, you've also been here.
I have been. It's been such a crazy event, to be honest. I've enjoyed every second of it. We've had upsets. We've had amazing games all around. We've had some hateful comments between me and Machiavelli. What more is there to have?
That's why I've been over here.
Yeah. And I agree with going into DreamHack Winter. This gives us a lot to think about, a lot to talk about. There was upsets and all kinds of surprises in this tournament. It really makes me wonder what's going to happen at DreamHack Winter.
Do you have any predictions, Raisy, about DreamHack Winter?
No, I wouldn't go there.
Maybe you're wiser than the
I'm
rest
not ready.
of us
After the
then,
predictions so far this event, I'm not even willing to try anything at the
I got
moment.
nothing left.
Raisy's going to win.
I can't even predict where I'm going.
He's a wiser man than I was at that age.
Absolutely. So from everyone here at DreamHack Denver 2017, I think we're going to be saying good night, and we'll be seeing you very shortly. It's been a fantastic